5:34. You are watching and listening to Breakfast with Ellie and Paul. We are sitting in for Stephen and Anne, and we are live across the UK on both your TV and your radio.
Yeah, time to go through the front pages this morning. The Sunday Times claiming the NHS covered up and what they're calling an ambulance death scandal involving alleged mistakes by paramedics in the northeast of England.
The Observer leads on PM to sacrifice top official over Partygate to save himself. The paper says that Boris Johnson is expected to scapegoat the head of the civil service, Simon Case, when the Sue Gray report is released.
It's going to be big news this week. The Sunday Express reports on plans to make every pupil in England eligible for one-to-one tuition to make sure help is provided to everyone in need.
The Mail on Sunday leads with asylum seekers supposedly abandoning their attempts to stay in the UK for fear of being sent to Rwanda.
An apparent attack on unions by the Tories is detailed in the Sunday Telegraph.
The Sunday Mirror reports that Colleen Rooney has told a friend she now thinks she'll be vindicated in the Wagatha Christie trial.
And finally, the Daily Star on Sunday, or just Sunday, whatever it is, reports that the Ukrainian army have rescued a Russian dog and retrained him to fight for them in their special forces. Not sure about that.
Forces, yeah. You can always rely on the Daily Star.
Not sure about the tone of that report, bearing in mind it's about the Ukrainian war. But anyway, 8:35, let's go through the papers then.
Yeah, we're joined by Pete Price and Emma Burnell. They've been with us all morning. They've been absolutely fantastic. Pete, let's start with you. We're talking about the Jubilee. Spend Her Victorious.
Yes, great title.
Headline.
Yeah, I like that. Pub landlords and shop owners are looking forward to £1 billion plus sales bonanza. What is great about this Jubilee is that people are going to start spending money again.
Yes.
And please go back to the shops. Don't just buy online. And use tills with people. Don't go to the automatic tills.
I haven't got time, Pete, to go to the shops, and it costs too much money to get in the car and drive it.
I'm speechless after that. I think it's great that we need something. I'm speechless after that. I think it's great that we're going to have a bonanza, and it's going to be amazing. And Liverpool have got their celebrations like everybody else, and it will be a good time to spend.
Yeah.
And people say if they've got no money, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm hosting at the Bomb Church in Liverpool the Food and Drink Beverage Festival in Liverpool, and I'm interviewing all the chefs who are giving cookery demonstrations.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
get some free food, some samples.
What? And then I'll be shopping. I'll find time to shop.
What, and talk to a human being?
A real human being.
That'll never happen.
I went into one of those stores, and those machines, one of them started arguing with me. The machine was telling me to hurry up.
They don't save time, do they?
I can't stand them.
Unexpected item in the bagging area. I am an unexpected item.
I don't want to be here. Emma, let's go over to you. The cost of living just to decide the next election. Very interesting based on what we were talking about earlier with Australia and the swing to the left. Do you think we could kind of see the same thing happen here?
I think it's perfectly possible. I think there has been a real sort of concerted attempt by the Conservative Party to bring in a more divisive politics, the culture wars as it's called. And actually, I think what's really coming home to people is what really matters when it comes to political decisions, and that's the pound in your pocket and how far it's going to go and how much of them you're going to earn. And those bread and butter issues that the Tories just don't seem to have an answer on at all. They're running around divided amongst themselves over, first of all, whether to have a windfall tax. We're now seeing on the front pages of the papers a windfall tax they haven't yet decided they're going to have. They haven't yet decided, they're having a big row over how they're going to spend it. And very little of it actually seems to be likely to filter down to the people who it really makes a difference to.
To be fair, they have put in place £22 billion worth of measures. You can argue about whether that's enough or not, but they have done some things.
They have done some things, but those measures, when you look at them, they are not really the kind of things that have a difference on immediacy. And we are in an immediate crisis, and this is where the problem is. There are some. I do not agree with Boris Johnson very often. But I do think they have done some good things, particularly on a further investment into green and renewable fuels, things like that. I think they have taken some quite difficult decisions that are longer term in some terms, in terms of energy security and providing our own energy in the UK. So I always say, when somebody you disagree with does something you like, tell them.
Yeah.
But I do think that on the whole, when it comes to things like this cost of living crisis, they just don't seem to be living in a reality-based universe.
So given what you just said about green energy, would you get rid of the green levies that are on energy bills at the moment to try and cut them for
I think that the way that the green levies have been set up isn't necessarily the best way to produce that investment. I think it's vital, absolutely vital. Firstly, we've seen over this last year how essential it is that we have much more energy independence in the UK. Energy independence in the UK means wind. It also means a bit of nuclear. I'm a traditional green. I marched around Greenham Common when I was 8 years old. So but I'm agnostic on nuclear now because you have to be.
And sorry, just very quickly, because I can hear Pete's intake of breath.
I think about the whole problem is that we must look at ourselves as well. It's not just a government problem. I come from a school where I switch off every light in every room when I go in and out. We have got to look to ourselves. I do not waste any food that's in the fridge. I was taught that way because I came from a day when there was no benefits. My mother struggled as a single mom.
I absolutely agree with you, Pete, but I think what we do need to look at is the whole system as well, because whilst individual responsibility is important, it is definitely part of the factor, it is true at the moment that the poorer you are, the more you pay for your energy, particularly if you're on a prepaid meter, for example. That's just crazy to me. That's crazy. So I think we need to look from the top down about how the whole system is set up. And honestly, if you want to know how to budget and how to make sure that every penny is pinched, ask someone who's poor, because they really know.
Yeah, we're going to keep pinching the pennies for some time. Eventually, we're going to run out of pinches. There's not many pinches left.
Exactly.
Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Pete, thank you to you as well. Pete Price and broadcaster, and Emma Bennell, political consultant, joining us on GB News Breakfast this morning. And do let us know what you think about what we've just been talking about. GBViews@gbnews.uk.